Bam. All right. So the thing about a business or something like this, in this case, we have a windmill. We have your transporters, your workers, and all the stuff right here. With budget, that is basically how much when you select auto. That's how much your was it your transporters can basically buy from. So you could only have a budget of 300. So every year they have 300 bucks to buy whatever they need from the market, bring here. And the first thing you need to know about businesses, when you have multiple businesses running towards each other and stuff like that, uh, when you have one transporter go from, let's say, a farm to a windmill or something like that, it counts as a transporter. In this case, you have 1 out of 1. That's only because they don't ever count this one. So, first things first, always hire your transporter because before you connect it to anything else. And personally, what I do is get another transporter, but I will explain what these upgrades mean. Disease protection, so when disease eventually comes around, uh, this will protect your workers and whoever's working in here by 10% more. I don't really find this useful, mostly because I haven't really been hit by a disease or anything big like that. Next is building security, so that's basically when people try to spy on your mill, trying to find something wrong or try and get evidence against you. That's what they do. They spy on the building, and this gives you one more security. Next is storage capacity. Well, in this case, we don't have any, but storage capacity, it would increase a stack size from here to 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and then so on and so on. You can see it in a warehouse, which is very useful in stuff like that. Next is fire protection. So if your building ever catches fire, this will make it so it burns either longer, if I remember. I don't remember. Next is front store space. Same thing as storage capacity. It will increase from 20 to 30, and then you could hold more stuff, which is pretty good because if you select use front store, any production here, uh, once there's not enough storage capacity, they'll just put it to the front store area. Next is storage slots. So that's pretty self-explanatory. One of the first things I always like to buy. Yeah, you can't pause it. Adds another slot. Next is customer satisfaction. So that's when you sell it here to the front store area, customers will come directly to this building and buy it from here. So customer satisfaction will basically make them feel better that you bought it from here. I don't usually get that unless it's like an inn or something like that. Next is workers. That's pretty straightforward. You get a lot of another workers or another worker. Privacy protection. I think that's basically the same thing as building security, but for different actions. Front store slots, same thing as storage slots, but with the front store. Transporter, and that's just pretty straightforward. You add another transporter. And then next is productivity, which is just 5% overall productivity to all your workers. But be careful with what you buy because you can only have a max of 8. So I always recommend storage capacity, front store space, storage slots, workers, front these front store slots, transporters, and then productivity, and workers as well, because workers are very important. So like I was saying before, hire all your transporters first, because if you use another transporters from other buildings into this one, it counts as their transporter, and you cannot hire another transporter. So if I had one extra open slot and I had, let's say, a bakery come to here, it would count as this transporter, and you could not hire another transporter, which is quite important. What else? Let's see. That's good. So We have your repair building, assigned budget. That's basically, like I said before, you could how much your transporters are allowed to spend at market. Your upgrade building, depending on the building, and once you get the skill, you can upgrade it to be a better building. Next is your add-ons. Went over that. Statistics. Don't really see much in statistics right now. Storage rules. All right, this is very important. With storage rules, you can see that right here. You can resources. This is the amount of days the transporters will go to market and buy from. So, like in this case, they want 2 days, number of production days, of which your storage keeper should have enough supplies of raw materials in stock. I just keep it at 2 because it's too much of a hassle to really do anything with it. Next is your storage. Uh, this is the minimum number of each product that you keep in storage. So personally, I like to set it to at least 1 or 2 because when you, I guess we can start hiring. Because this is, whoops, important in that when you're producing stuff, let me, oh well, I could go over that later. When you're producing stuff, it will go in the storage capacity right here. And when you have people taking stuff in and out, in and out, in and out, if you have it set to 0, the slot will go gone, or it'll be empty like this. And then the transporters can fill this up with different materials and stuff like that. And eventually, if you let that happen, you cannot produce anything because the workers will have no place to store their finished product, and they need to have a place to store their finished product in the storage before they can move it to the front store area. So I usually set it to 1 or 2, depending on what the um, what's it called is what the building is. Next is the front store. Same thing. They have a minimum of, I usually set to like 5, just cause 5. And here the transporters can take both from the storage and the front store area. So you would want to have a minimum in the front store area so the workers inside this building know where to sell or what to sell. Next is your sale price. So personally, I set it up, and you can see that it's bad when you set it up. But if you set it down here, it's whatever really. But I personally set it to 15% more because I just straight up get my stuff and sell it to the market itself, which is really good. And if you really wanted to sell outside your business itself, you'd probably set it to like -10 or something like that, and sell it from there. Then you got your sell building and destroy building. And the thing is, if you destroy the building, you can't build anything on top of the wreckage and things like that.